The first thing I noticed was how light the bag felt. Not because I'd packed light, I'd taken almost nothing, but because for 26 years I'd been carrying something I couldn't name, and suddenly, standing in the driveway with the front door still vibrating from the slam, my shoulders didn't ache anymore. Dad had said the words like he'd been saving them. "You've ruined our lives, you're a burden." Not yelling. That would have been easier to file away as a moment of heat. "No," he said it quietly, "the way you tell someone the weather." My mother didn't correct him. She just handed me a piece of notebook paper with "Don't come back" in ballpoint pen. I smiled. Not a sarcastic smile, not a broken one. Just a small, tired thing that lived somewhere between exhaustion and relief. Then I walked to my car. In the rearview mirror, they were already turning back inside. I drove 3 hours to a town I'd never seen, checked into a motel that smelled like old coffee and forgiveness. Lying on the scratchy bedspread, I pulled out my phone and typed 4 words to my mother. "Okay." I stopped paying. Then I turned off read receipts. The phone exploded an hour later. Not literally, though for a moment the constant buzzing made me think something had shorted out. 12 missed calls from my mother, 8 from my father, then texts. The first few were predictable. "How dare you? You're being dramatic. Your father needs his medication." I didn't answer. By the third hour, the tone shifted. "We didn't mean it like that. You know how he gets. Just come home and we'll talk." By evening, something almost soft. "Please." The electricity notice came. "We don't have the mortgage this month." I watched each message arrive like a small animal at the door. Then I put the phone on silent and went to sleep. Here's what they didn't know. I had kept their house running for 4 years. The mortgage, the car insurance, the internet. My father used to post about how kids today had no loyalty. The credit card my mother swiped at Target. I'd started doing it quietly, then necessarily, then without anyone thanking me. Somewhere along the way, they stopped seeing me as their daughter and started seeing me as an appliance. Appliances don't get to leave. The first week, I found a studio apartment above a laundromat. The walls were thin. The radiator knocked, but the lock was mine. I changed my number except for a Google Voice line I kept active for reasons I didn't examine yet. The voicemail filled daily. My father's voice, the 5th day. "We're sorry. Is that what you want to hear?" "Fine. We're sorry. Now call the bank." My mother's voice, the 7th. "Your father fell. He's okay. But the ambulance is sending a bill. You don't have to pay all of it. Just call me." I didn't. On day 10, a certified letter arrived at my old address. The landlord forwarded it. Inside, my mother's handwriting, smaller now. "You were never a burden. He was wrong. I was wrong, please." I folded the letter and put it in a drawer. Here is what I learned in the silence. Love that requires you to disappear is not love. Obligation that never ends is not family. And the people who call you dramatic are usually the ones who built the entire stage. By the third week, the calls stopped. I imagined them figuring it out, selling the second car, applying for assistance, doing what millions of people do when no one is bankrolling their life. I felt a flicker of guilt, small, manageable, like a candle in a room I could leave any time. Then I felt something else. Something I hadn't felt at that house in years. Peace. The phone didn't explode anymore. Neither did I.